Last time on Dragon Ball Super, the Tournament of Power brought several exciting moments for the heroes, but adventure never stops for Goku and the others, even after strong altercations against Broly and Moro. The Z-Fighters must now face an entirely new challenge from the shadows. An enemy rises with a plan like no other to take away the powers of the heroes. Will he be successful in his plan? Their world is turned upside down now. A nightmare event. What if the Z-Fighters lost their powers?
Hello everyone, before we begin, I just want to say thank you very much for all the support you've given me. We are almost at 100,000 subscribers and that means a lot to me. I also wanted to announce that you can now become a member of the channel, which means you can support the channel in various ways and you get some perks here and there. All you have to do is click the join button, then you decide which tier you would like to join. There's some pretty cool stuff, but my personal favorite is the badges you get. The more months you are a member, you get upgraded in the badges, and they're all based on Super Saiyan Goku hair. They were all personally made by my friend Ethan, who's an awesome pixel artist. Anyways, be sure to subscribe, share, and all that good stuff, and enjoy the video. It was a spooky Halloween day, and Bulma was taking out the kids trick-or-treating, while Goku and Vegeta trained at Beerus' planet, when Whis gets a call from Bulma. She's panicking, and saying that something's gone down with the kids. They fell from a high place while flying. Goku teleports instantly to Capsule Corp along with Vegeta, and when they arrived, they also instantly feel drained and exhausted. Coincidentally, two robbers were planning on kidnapping Trunks to get ransom money from Capsule Corp, of course. Seeing a chance, they step in to try to capture the kid. However, Vegeta becomes aware of their actions and tries to go in for a right hook, but the robber simply takes a step back, dodging the attack. Vegeta looks at his hand, perplexed, just to get pistol whipped by the man. Thankfully, it is then when a booming voice sounds off.
"Not so fast, you kidnapper!"
Instantly, the robbers shake in their boots as the mustached hero begins to speed towards them, jumping and dynamite kicking them right in the face.
"The champ is here, Vegeta, don't worry!"
They would take care of them soon enough. As Bulma calls Krillin, he's the only police officer they know. He needs to take care of these robbers first before they can do anything else. Mr. Satan informs them on why he's here, as Videl is seen walking towards them from behind Mr. Satan. Gohan had passed out in the middle of a conference, and she's carrying him. So this isn't just a one-off, there's a pattern here. Bulma thinks, what could have happened to their powers? So far, it's only been Saiyans. But once Krillin showed up, they realized that it was humans too. Krillin was really tired and very pale. He felt as if all his ki had been drained away. Goku and the rest agreed. That was the best way to put it. Though she was so much less trained in ki than the others, that it didn't affect her as much, so she was still able to fight. Same with Mr. Satan. Meanwhile, in the lookout, Piccolo becomes instantly aware that something is going on. He runs to the edge, trying to see what's happening. He's about to jump off when he realizes he can't fly. If he were to jump off, he'd just die. He's stuck in the lookout. He turns to Mr. Popo, asking him to take him down from the lookout, but Mr. Popo had just taken the flying carpet to the dry cleaners. It looks like they're both stuck up there. Piccolo resigns. He's sure that Goku and the others will take care of it. He has to make sure that Dende is okay. Bulma begins to analyze the air and realizes that there's waves coming through that may be the ones affecting the Z-Fighters. There's nothing she can really do about it, because she doesn't know where the main source is. She does have an idea, however, finding the Dragon Balls. Vegeta thinks it's impossible to find all those things in a quick amount of time without any of their powers, but Goku and Bulma look at each other and smile. They did something similar a long time ago, which reminds Goku of the flying Nimbus. Goku calls it down, to which Piccolo sees the flying Nimbus speeding off. He tries to get its attention, but to no avail. The flying Nimbus arrives, and Goku hugs it tightly. It had been a long time since they'd been together. It really belonged to Goten and Gohan now. Whatever was going on, they needed to find the Dragon Balls quickly. Bulma tossed the Dragon Radar to Goku, but Goku said that even with the flying Nimbus, he wouldn't be able to find them on his own. Bulma nodded and said that maybe they should divide up in teams. She took the Super Dragon Ball radar and tweaked it just a tiny bit so it would track the auras of the Earth Dragon Balls. It wasn't long before other Z-Fighters began to arrive at Capsule Corp. It seems like everybody was having this problem. Bulma explained the situation to them. According to her analysis, the ones that were most affected were the ones that were most trained in ki, and perhaps, according to Gohan and Goku, the ones that had the most potential, which is why Gohan was feeling so down in the dumps. Vegeta was also feeling not very well, since he was very ki heavy. Goku and the kids were feeling a little easier than the others, though their strength was still nowhere near where it could be. In fact, their power was so depleted that Mr. Satan and Videl were the strongest ones in the room. With that being said, all the Z fighters were still pretty strong in their own right, for normal human beings. Oolong, Puar, and Master Roshi were all attending Yamcha's baseball practice. After the tournament against Universe 6, he'd gotten back into it. He invited them all to meet some pretty ladies, but things turned sour when he collapsed. Puar had no choice but to call Bulma up. She answered, and she already knew what was happening. Quickly, Roshi and the others got Yamcha over to Capsule Corp. Though Goku tried to get Roshi to join them, he dismissed it, saying, "Oh man, I'm just too tired and worn out of power to help out." But there was a twinkle in Roshi's eye. Maybe this could be a challenge for his students. So the stage is set and the teams are divided up. Team 1 is made up of Goku, Goten, Bulma, Krillin, Yamcha, and Puar, while Team 2 is made up of Vegeta, Trunks, Gohan, Videl, Mr. Satan, and Oolong. Goku lets Videl and Gohan use the Flying Nimbus, while everybody else uses capsule ships to get around. The first stop for Goku's team led them somewhere familiar, the Icelands up north. Ader and Snow were still living there. Goku had visited them once or twice, and they were glad to help him out. They told Goku that there have been some earthquakes recently, and that something reminiscing of the Northern Lights were flashing as of late. But it didn't seem natural. Bulma was curious about this. Maybe this had something to do with the waves. They would have to investigate later. The first Dragon Ball was found towards the remains of Muscle Tower. However, over the years, a mountain had built up over it. No one could get up there without risking the airplanes malfunctioning and crashing down. Yamcha had a great idea and looked over at Puar, asking him to transform and help them get the Dragon Ball. Puar was more than happy to help their friends. He transformed into a bat and quickly got the Dragon Ball. However, an avalanche began to shake. He needed to get out of there quickly. Although their powers were depleted, both Yamcha and Krillin were able to break apart incoming bolts of snow, protecting Bulma and the rest. What mattered here was not their strength, but that they were great martial artists. Likewise, Goku was able to protect Goten, and they got the first Dragon Ball. Vegeta's team ends up on a desert near Mount Pautsu. They find the Dragon Ball pretty easily, though they have to dig a little. However, as they are digging, they're confronted by a group of bandits. Vegeta draws his arm back to fire a ki blast, but nothing comes out. Gohan does the same. Videl and Mr. Satan both jump in front and instinctively beat down the opponents. They scurry away at the sight of Mr. Satan. Vegeta angrily snatches away the Dragon Ball from Mr. Satan's hands, getting back on the plane and telling everyone to hurry up. The next Dragon Ball for Goku's team is near a small village in a mountain range. The priest of the village has the Dragon Ball on his staff and says that if they manage to scare away the monster that's been threatening the crops, then they can have the Dragon Ball. The team waited a while, hiding from the monster as Puar transformed into a roasted pig. No monster was approaching though. Yamcha got an idea and started to howl. After all, the village had a lot of dogs, and they had been going missing lately. The result was a dinosaur. Puar quickly detransformed and escaped away towards Yamcha. If they weren't careful, they were going to be eaten at any second. They managed to evade the dinosaur for just long enough for Bulma to bring out one capsule. She quickly mounted the weapon on her shoulder, aimed, and fired. The rocket launcher struck the dinosaur, bringing him down. Goku's stomach made loud noises, wanting to eat the dinosaur, and Bulma was happy she was able to save them for the first time in a long time. Vegeta's team found themselves looking for a Dragon Ball underwater. However, none of them knew how they would get down there. Utilizing the Dragon Radar and the magnetic aura the Dragon Balls let off, Gohan was able to calculate where and how far down the Dragon Ball was. He had an idea. Oolong transformed into a torpedo, which Gohan would then ride towards the Dragon Ball. Gohan just needed to make sure that they needed to get in there and out of there as fast as possible, since it was far enough for the pressure to gain on them, and Oolong wouldn't be able to hold his breath for much. The torpedo shot off, and Gohan was able to snatch the Dragon Ball off of a little rock. However, Oolong crashed and passed out immediately. Gohan needed to get him out of there fast. Gohan and Oolong were taking too long to return. Videl and the rest were getting worried. Trunks looked around for something he could do. He wanted to help his friends, but then he saw it. A fishing box and chain sitting on the port. With Videl's help, he was able to launch it towards the water and have it sink. Gohan saw it, and with his last bit of energy, swam over to it and pulled on it as hard as he could. Everyone helped pull them up. Thankfully, they were both okay, and Gohan triumphantly showed them the Dragon Ball.
Hey kids, don't go away. We'll be right back. And now back to our show.
Goku had made sure to get the power pole right before going on the adventure, riding all the way to the lookout, where he almost stopped by Piccolo.
Oh, Goku, thank God you're...
Sorry, Piccolo, no time to waste. Talk to you later.
No, wait, damn it. He's gone too?
He had now entrusted it with Goten after having used it to protect them from the falling snow. They were looking for the final Dragon Ball as a team, all near the Illusion Forest, where Krillin and Goku had gone on a small adventure not too long ago. Goten, not really paying attention to anything, wandered into the forest, where suddenly visions of Super Buu stomping on Chi-Chi, as well as many other villains, haunted him. Goten fell on his back as he watched Frieza kill both future Trunks and present Trunks. But the kid realized what he was doing. No way these were real, they had already defeated them. Quickly he got out the power pole and swung and spun it and extended it. But one final Super Buu snuck up behind him and it looked like he was going to attack, but he heard a woof of air behind him and he turned around. There was no Super Buu there, it was an old man smiling at him.
Who the heck are you?
A friend, just a friend. You're a very brave young man, you know that?
Thank you. Could you see those monsters too?
Looks to me like you scared them away. You remind me quite a lot of a young boy I once knew. Here, is this what you were looking for?
The old man showed him the 4-star Dragon Ball, handing it to him.
4 Dragon Ball! Thank you! How did you know?
My instinct. What's your name?
Goten, where are you?
Oh, gotta go. Thank you again. See ya!
Goten ran out of the forest, waving goodbye to the old man. Finally, they had gotten their final Dragon Ball as a team. They just hoped that Team Vegeta was having a good time as well. They decided to meet up with them a little early. Once they arrived with the others, they found them trying to sneak up on a dinosaur. He was sleeping right next to a Dragon Ball, but the sound of the airplane landing woke up the dinosaur. As he got up, the Dragon Ball went flying off. Bulma quickly threw down a capsule, riding away in a motorcycle. However, the ground was getting too rocky for it. To everyone's surprise, they watched as the motorcycle transformed into some kind of 4x4 car thing. It made it easier for Bulma to traverse. Bulma was getting closer and closer to the Dragon Ball signal. And to distract the dinosaur, both Puar and Oolong transformed into pterodactyls, drawing the attention away from Bulma. Finally, she found the Dragon Ball. It took them a while, but Puar and Oolong lost the dinosaur and they returned to the rest. They finally had 6 Dragon Balls. There was only 1 left. There was no time to lose, and they all headed south. Once they arrived, Bulma recognized the area instantly. Yatsubi Heights, the place where Piccolo's ship was found long ago. The team walked over to where the signal was, but there was no Dragon Ball in sight. Then a huge blast of fire burst up from the ground, and out of it came out a giant robot with a brain inside, followed by an old man. Who the heck was this?
Good. You landed right into a trap.
But I see he's brought friends along, Doctor.
No matter. Goku and Vegeta's bodies are ours now.
Everyone got into their battle position. Vegeta asked who they were, and finally, they introduced themselves. They were Dr. Wheelo and Dr. Kachin. They had been researching the various Z fighters for a long time now, and wanted to steal their bodies. It was them that had taken away the Z fighters' powers by activating a machine that neutralized Advanced Ki and weakened the Saiyans. Mr. Satan stepped up to the front to challenge them, but Dr. Wheelo laughed. He knew that Mr. Satan was just a fraud. Videl got angry when her father was insulted and went in to attack. She punched Dr. Wheelo where his face would be, but her hand nearly shattered because of how strong the metal was. Dr. Wheelo slapped Videl away. Gohan's power spiked up for just 1 second, as if the waves were not affecting him anymore, but he was only able to catch Videl. Then his power went right back down. Dr. Kachin found this curious. He thought that maybe Gohan should be the person they should take their body off. But the spike in power had put a lot of strain on Gohan, and he had to sit back down, panting. All the Z fighters tried to attack, but to no avail, as Wheelo protected Kachin and himself. Even the mighty power pole stood no chance. Under normal circumstances, a regular Super Saiyan could probably be enough to take them on. But without the last Dragon Ball, they couldn't wish away the machine. Without the last Dragon Ball, they couldn't defeat Dr. Wheelo. Vegeta damped the world, and that's when Bulma began to laugh. Tisk, tisk, tisk. Vegeta shouldn't give up that easily, she said. She clicked a button on her 4x4, and the machine began to distort, standing up on 2 legs, revealing itself to be a mech. Bulma explained that she had been working on this for some time, and it was based on some of the blueprints of Android 16, with some modifications. Jets behind the wheels burst open and Bulma rushed towards the enemies. The clashes of the machines began to shake the earth around them. The glass shield that protected Bulma was based on a scouter, and it actually revealed to her just how strong everyone was, and also where the last Dragon Ball stood. It was inside Dr. Wheelo. The fight went on for a while, but Bulma's machine was only a prototype. It may not be able to hold on much longer. One of the clashes between their arms actually destroyed both of their arms altogether, but Bulma used this opportunity to point her other arm against Dr. Wheelo's head, and just like Android 16's rocket punch, her arm went flying off, breaking through the glass and pushing him back. The Dragon Ball fell from Dr. Wheelo. Wheelo wasn't out of the picture just yet though, and his tail whipped against Bulma, sending her flying away. Her rocket stopped her, and she managed to catch her breath. Her mech was in critical condition. Maybe it all was lost. Dr. Wheelo put the Dragon Ball back inside of himself. He began to laugh, talking about taking Goku's body. Just then, something came spinning extremely fast towards them, and it hit Dr. Wheelo once more. The Z-Fighters turned their head to look at what that was. It was a baby Gamera, and something was riding it. Master Roshi. He had arrived just in time. He told everyone not to give up just yet. Dr. Wheelo took a step back. Master Roshi, huh? They actually thought about taking his body before, until realizing he was no longer the strongest person on Earth. No amount of pep talk would be able to defeat them now. But Vegeta stood up, walking to be next to Bulma. Then Goku, then Gohan, Videl, Goten, Trunks, Mr. Satan. All of them stood next to Bulma. Even without their powers, they knew they could win. But before he could leave them, Master Roshi had one more thing to do. He burst his shirt open, showing off his ginormous muscles. He then stood on his staff and then pressed down, kicking it off towards Dr. Wheelo. It wasn't to actually hurt him, it was instead to force the Dragon Ball out of it and onto the ground below. Vegeta yelled at Goten and Trunks to go get it and summoned Shenron. The kids ran towards it, but Dr. Wheelo rushed in. The Z-Fighters wouldn't let that happen, however, and all of them went in for an attack. Dr. Wheelo was weakened now, and everybody was able to do their part. Even still, Bulma was doing most part of the damage. Dr. Konchin took off his glove and showed that he had a massive blaster instead of a hand. It shot right towards Bulma, but it just barely missed, creating a huge explosion that pushed everyone back. Meanwhile, Goten and Trunks got the Dragon Balls together. It was now or never. With the last of her mech's strength, Bulma pulled back her arm and thrusted a punch towards Dr. Wheelo. Dr. Wheelo did the same, and their fists clashed. They were at a complete standstill. Another explosion. Boom. But once the smoke cleared, the sky was back to normal. It was no longer dark from Shenron. Bulma was on the ground, with pieces of her mech all around her. Dr. Wheelo laughed maniacally, but both doctors looked back and saw that all the Z-Fighters were pointing their hands at them, and right in front of them was Gotenks. The kids had done it. They wished for the machine to be destroyed, and right then, fused together. They wanted to be the ones to defeat Dr. Wheelo. Master Roshi laughed loudly. All the other Z-Fighters left, and Vegeta carried Bulma away. They just left Gotenks with Dr. Wheelo.
No, wait, please don't, please, no!
Everything had gone back to normal, and this time, the day was saved by Bulma and Roshi, two unlikely heroes that never really got the spotlight anymore. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed this kind of sort of Halloween what if. I thought, what's the scariest thing that could happen to the Z-Fighters? Probably lose their powers. But I may do another more traditional Halloween story later on. I want to give a shout out to Professor Chimp, who helped me out with this story of this video quite a bit. And also shout out to Shara, who really came through with the coloring of Bulma's mech. Finally, I just want to plug my second channel, Share Your Energy, where I will be making a video all about the Cell Arc and its messages and analysis of it and stuff like that, because I think analysis of anime and manga and video games and all that stuff, that's what I really want to do. So if you guys can help me out, subscribe over there, like the video that's already there, and all that good stuff. Be sure to like, share, comment, subscribe, and shout out to these guys who answered the Dragon Ball question of the week last week. The Dragon Ball question of the week this week is, if you had a Dragon Ball character that you really wanted to return, it could be a movie character, a character we haven't seen in a long time, who would that be? And maybe how would you return him? Clearly, I did something similar to this with Dr. Wheelo, kept him kind of the same, but used him in a different way. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoy, and until we meet again, see ya.
Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to SmugStick, unless you want to be destroyed.
Lord Beerus, that's hardly fair. But also, don't forget to click the bell icon to get notified when he uploads new videos.